Hello and welcome. Are you performing on the outside while feeling disconnected on the inside? Well, if that sounds like you are in the right place. Today we discuss how that shows up, what are the costs, and what you can do to reconnect with the person you spend most of the time with, and that's yourself. I am Laurent Maillefer, the founder of Leap to Yourself Coaching. Many people reach a point where on the outside, life looks very fine and perfect. You have a job, you have a family, you have a successful career, but inside, some things feels off or disconnected. I think we've all been there at some point in our life, at least I myself have. I sometimes hear, and maybe that sentence will especially resonate with some of you, I should be happy. I have everything I need, but there is something and I don't know what that feels off. So today we'll be exploring what helps people reconnect with what truly matters without needing to change everything and put your life upside down. And to do that, today I am honored to have Tanja Fauti as our guest to discuss this important topic. Tanja is a coactive trained coach with a year-long experience as a research scientist and leader in the very complex pharma industry in Switzerland. Now Tanja works as a coach at the intersection of responsibility, inner connection, and clarity. Welcome, Tanja, and thank you for being with us. So Tanja, maybe to get us started, would you like to say a few words for our listeners so they know you better, who you are and what you do?
Thank you, Laurent. I'm really glad to be here. I'm actually curious about what happens when life feels full. Work, family, expectations around us. And we move through it all, always on autopilot. I work with exactly these people. It's often women. They come to me feeling stretched between family, work, and all those different expectations from the environment around them. I support them to come from this state of disconnection with themselves to more clarity, calm, and confidence.
That sounds great. I love it, Tanja. Thank you. There's a few words that resonated with me when you say that, like the expectations around us. We all know we have some of these, but again, gaining clarity, being grounded, reconnecting to ourselves, and just being themselves. I think that's important, and I hear it a lot also myself. So to get us started, I'm really wondering, when people come to you, they reach out to you, they're at a certain point in their life, they have certain things going on in their personal, professional life, either or. And so what are these common situations, or as we may call it, that inner states they describe and they come to you for?
Actually, many of the people I work with aren't just a little out of touch with themselves, they feel quite far away. They come to me and they say things like, Tanja, I really want to be more me again. Or even worse, like that they say, I have no clue who I really am anymore. I'm just doing things. And that is because they do have a lot in their lives. They are navigating a lot. They have multiple roles and responsibilities all around work, family, and everything else that they have to handle every day. And while everything may look really nice and fine on the outside, if you look at the inside, they feel stretched, restless. Some even feel numb.
Numb, that's a really strong word, no?
Yeah.
Numb. Yeah, feeling numbness. And I find like this disconnection, is not always obvious from the outside, right? It's a feeling you have, you don't necessarily know what it is, but there's something that feels off, right? I'm really wondering, like, how does this disconnection or that feeling of being off shows up in everyday life? Like, what are the main ways that you see that in the people and the beautiful people you work with? Well, what does come up? What is the trend and the recurring sort of themes?
I feel like it shows up in many different ways, because we are also very different. For some, it's that it's very difficult to make decisions, even small ones. A lot of them experience that at the end of the day, their energy level is really, really low. And you see that the patience is running thin. You have a lot of frustration that builds up. And a thing that is very often seen is that this little creepy inner critical voice that we all have is growing louder and louder. And you also feel irritated much more easily. So at the end, often also, also the small tasks, they feel like really big and really like a challenge. And you wonder yourself, why does that feel that heavy? You used to do those things, right? And you feel that throughout the day. Sometimes you even start with this heavy feeling in the morning, and it doesn't get better throughout the day. And what I also notice is that you feel this tension in your body, and that often translates into muscle pain here and there. And I mean, how many of us experience that, right?
That's really interesting what you say, because what I'm hearing is this is not like a crisis that is very tangible. There's a lot of subtle things and changes of ways of feeling, ways of being. As you say, things that you used to do very easily suddenly just become so difficult.
Absolutely.
And you just don't know why. And that maybe some of the body aches we have, maybe it's just linked to that subconscious stress, right? And that we're not necessarily aware, we don't notice, or we maybe just choose to ignore and just put on the side because we don't want to see. That's also potentially some of the natural behavior that we go into, right? I mean, I know I do it sometimes. So yeah, this is not clear what it is, and this connection, I hear it, yeah. So when people arrive in your practice and arrive to you with this type of situations and events and they sort of come to you, what are the ways that you sort of start with and helping them and just feeling reconnected and come to making small steps towards something different?
I feel like there are different ways how you can approach that. There are a few anchors that help you reconnect with yourself. And you mentioned one, the body. So becoming more aware of you actually feel in your body, the tension, but also the emotions, the thoughts and what they actually lead to. And also the inner resources, because we actually do have them. It's just that sometimes we feel disconnected to our inner resources and feel powerless. But we aren't. We are powerful. And one of the things that I like most is the value work. Because values act like an internal compass. Once you have clarity about your own values, you understand, it becomes clear what actually matters most to you. And then from this state, you can actually make choices. And what I also like in here is about finding these small moments throughout your day where you can connect with yourself again, where you can feel yourself, where you can feel your body again. I think that's so important. And we tend to overrun it because we have so many priorities in our lives.
Yeah, exactly. I mean, I hear you. We're very cognitive in the brain, and we've sort of forgotten that there's a whole body, and in the body I'll include the head, because some of those feeling emotions may actually show up in the head. It's not always below the head. I hear the word values and inner resources, right? They're the same. So inner resources, values is one of the inner resources we have, right, Tanja?
Inner values, yes, or values are resources that we have, definitely. And to me, the beauty is that it's not something like a goal that you have to achieve, but values are something that you actually have. You are born with that, you can say that. You know, it's a quality that feels really important for you. Values can be, for example, being curious, or maybe connection with others is very important to you. Being present. And presence is something, you know, like a lot of people of us are not used to be really present with oneself and with each other.
So what do you mean presence? What is it really presence? Because we are present together today. So what do you mean by being truly present?
You know, how often do you catch yourself having a conversation and in your mind you have these hamster wheel of running thoughts. I have to do still this, I have to do still that.
Yeah.
Being present means really being there, listening, having a real conversation, and also being aware of your own body, because you have always reactions in your body. That is what I mean with presence.
I love that. Yeah, I love we are taken with a lot of information, notification and things in our day, and we sometimes forget just the simple fact of truly listening, and also listening to ourselves, also, and reconnecting to what is happening within us. So help us understand, what do they mean, these values? How can someone reconnect to them, identify them? As you say, we all have them within us. This is not something that we just go and we have to acquire. We all have values in ourselves. So yeah, help us. How do we do that, Tanja?
Yeah, it's true. We all have them. And a simple way to start noticing them again is by paying attention really to your own energy. For example, you can ask yourself, what is really exciting me? Or when was the last moment when I felt really like at peace with myself? Really like this calmness that was coming out of your own. What's important for me in these situations? Because that's hinting then to the values that you have. Or if you want to approach that a bit more like structured, there's also a lot of inspiration out there, you know, like there are lists that are publicly available. You can also screen them and then connect with yourself. Where do you feel the most resonant? Because there it's also important that you don't screen the list and say, that would be nice, I should be this or I should be that. But it's really about what is resonating. Where do you feel like, that's me, that's important to me. And then maybe, and this might be counterintuitive in the beginning, it's also about these situations where you feel really like annoyed, where you are really like frustrated or angry about something happening, about a behavior of someone. That can also be an indicator of values.
Right,
like,
so you go the other way around. So what actually...
Exactly.
Someone may get really upset about something that might really trigger them.
Yeah.
That means that whatever the situation is and whatever has happened is actually triggering and stepping on one of their value because they're reacting in this way.
Yeah.
Oh, right. That's interesting. So going the other way around. Yeah. I know. I get...
Yeah, maybe we can make that a bit...
Yeah,
I just wanted to ask, maybe we can make that a bit more like tangible. What's something, Laurent, that really annoys you?
I really get annoyed when people are saying something or they're going to do something and they just don't. There's really something that triggers me, and I know my triggers are all below my sternum. This is where my emotions live, and I get warm. And that really triggers me. And I know that's because that's stepping on my value of
reliability, right?
Yeah, reliability, accountability.
Yeah.
Right, doing what you say, trustworthy also in a way,
Yeah.
right? There's all these. So yeah, I've actually discovered those through my own work by this. Yes, thinking about what triggers me, and then that actually the value that is being stepped on, and that's how you discover what really is important to you, what matters, and how you want to actually be and be present every day. Yeah.
So you see, it can be a real fun exercise to identify again your values.
Yeah, bring it as a family dinner event and each ask questions about what triggers you, what does actually really get you upset, and then see what comes up. Yeah. Have fun. That's also part of life, right?
Yeah.
And I think also, like, I find interesting, like, frustration, friction. So what can you say, like that's also, I don't know, something that would indicate that we're not doing something that is really our values?
Yeah, right. It's when we feel like something is somehow off. You get that strange feeling in our body. You feel tension rising. Some feel it in their chest, like it's getting more difficult to breathe. That is usually a signal from your body that something is off and needs a little bit of time to have a closer look at it. And usually it's a value that has been ignored. And where you can then ask yourself, what could be ways how I can honor that value more? What could be a concrete action to be more in line with my own value here?
Right. Yeah, very interesting. Thank you. So I hear we all have values within us. This is not something that we go to the shopping mall and buy, put in a bag and take back home. This is adjectives and things that we really embody and who we truly are, and reconnecting to ourselves, to these moments where either we feel big joy and really enthusiasm about things. There's a value here, there's something that is important, that's really positive. But also we can do it the other way around in okay, what actually gets you really going, and see what happened there, because there'll probably be a value that someone or you are stepping over and not honoring. Yeah,
or the calm moments where you really recognize, yes, that feels like me.
Mm-hmm. I love the internal compass as well. A compass gives us directions, gives us like, where are we going? Are we in the right direction? Where's our north, our south, and those things. And so can you help share just maybe how you've helped someone move from functioning, which I think that's maybe the name we can give some of the people that come to you. They are functioning, everything is fine, but they've sort of lost a little bit maybe who they truly are and who they want to be. So how have your work been helpful for them in values, awareness, and sort of bring this to life? And how has that enabled them to shift, to create differences and become more aligned with who they are?
Yeah, I think you're describing those people very well. So they are functioning on the outside. They are constantly on, they are running in the hamster wheel. They are usually very smart people, very busy, like a very full agenda. They have a lot of responsibilities, and they are good in what they are doing. And yet, internally, they feel so exhausted. Really like low on energy constantly. It's a fight constantly. And usually they are not looking for, I want to or need to make a big change. But they want to have this connection again with them. They want to feel more grounded again, more calm. Really more like themselves. And how we work is that we work with little steps, with small moments. The first thing that we have a look at is their values. And then when they understood what really mattered to them, we could have a look at, okay, what are areas in their life where they are already honoring them? And where are areas where they do not honor their values, where they do not live them or fully live them. And how can we actually achieve that? Like that we close that gap. And once they have then this clarity, then usually what happens is it comes more naturally that they have, again, also this connection to their inner strength, because we all have them. Mm-hmm, mm-hmm. But when we have been in this overload and just functioning, it's maybe sometimes not so easy to actually feel those inner strength. And then you can tap into them again and use them more consciously. And what happens then is really like beautiful to witness, because then you see these shifts. Those clients, they come back and then they describe things like, I didn't react immediately, but I paused. I took a moment, like it can show up like taking a breather when you're in a very stressful moment at work or with your kids. And also, I always celebrate, when they come back and say, now I'm honoring my needs more. Like I'm taking a bath, I'm going for a walk in the evening. That's all what I mean about this inner strength and feeling that what is actually helping me in this situation. And if you look at that over time, that leads then really to tangible changes. A big thing for me is that you feel like you recover more quickly from stress. It's not like a magic wand and now you out of a sudden don't have any stress in your life anymore. But it means that you recover more quickly. And you are also able to show up with more patience. And usually it's also linked to feeling more self-confident again, because you actually like how you show up.
Mm-hmm. It's very powerful what you say. What I'm wondering is it like, I know my values and all will be fine and I can connect, like what are the steps once you know your values? Like what is it to do? Is it, I don't know, like this is repetition? I always find like there's always a repetition to do in creating new behaviors and creating new habits. So is that also the things that sort of will help, or how do you see that?
Yeah, for me it's different aspects. It's one, like not only becoming aware of the values, but also in your daily life becoming aware of, is that actually now in line with my values, or is that something that doesn't feel really right? And in these moments of doesn't really feel good to me now, you can think about these little actions. What can you do differently? Sometimes it's just going out of this situation where you're in, taking a breather. It can be also like starting some new job, starting some new sports. And it can be a little thing, something that brings back some more energy into your life.
I love what you say, because I think also I hear conscious choice also, right? Then we choose what we truly want. We become aware of what is important, what is less important, and then we actually can choose. And I also feel like this is okay to choose to do the less important things, but at least you're actually conscious that you choose to do something that is less important in that process. And that creates a great amount of awareness, I find, that allows changes and shifts in regaining, connecting to what we want and who we are and what we want out of our life. Yeah.
And it brings you also into a more empowered state, because it's no longer the life that actually defines the pace and what you do, but you become more aware of your own priorities and what you actually want to do. And you feel much more energized also in the evenings.
Yeah. And I'm wondering, like, values, obviously we can all do the work and discover them and write them down and have them. Do values sort of change? Are you saying that values changes throughout our life? Like maybe when we are kids, we valued certain things were important, and as we grow, maybe, I don't know, do they change? Is it, or this is something that is more static?
Yeah, that's a good question, Laurent. I think if I look at myself, I would say I have some core values that have always been with me. And I have a lot of values, like every one of us. And depending on our current life situation, our environments, I would say that the priority of these values shift. So in the sense that there might be occasions where my value of connection is maybe of higher priority to me. There might be also situations where driving for excellence might be needed, for example, when you're in the work environment. And that might have a higher priority once you actually start working compared to maybe at school.
Yeah, right. Yeah, right. So they change. We may bring new ones. We may actually prioritize some more than others depending on situations. And yeah, that makes me think that I remember a client also where we discussed and we found that sometimes it was better to maybe not honor your values because they just became a blocker for them and a situation of stress in a very specific situations that they had at work where that are actually more valuable for them to say on that situation I actually choose to not honor my value, but I'm actually okay with this because I do it for my own well-being and I can't change others, but I can choose to change myself and how I react to things. And that was really empowering for her. She found new ways and less stress, as you said before, also in just choosing what potentially is on the way and what creates the stress and being able to address it. So yeah, that's great.
Yeah, and I love that because I think, yes, sometimes our values are like contradictory. In that case, it was well-being maybe over other values that she decided not to honor. And I think it's about this choice that you can make consciously, which one is serving you better in that situation.
Yeah, and that really reduces stress, that empowers us to be more aligned and actually, yeah, happy with the choices we make and facing certain situations that can be challenging and reconnecting to who we are. You said you work a lot of people that, yeah, have family, kids, and all those things, and the success that we all have. And yeah, they've sort of lost a little bit who they are within all that, and reconnecting and remaking that you are important and we are important, and to do what we want and be connected to what truly matters to us. That's really important. And that really resonates. Yeah, thank you, Tanja. As we slowly come towards the end of this podcast, there's one thing that I would like our listeners to remember. Like, what would be that one thing that, if you had to say the top thing that they can get away with and something easily that they can implement, they can look at on their own, at home, at work, in the bus, on the tram, in the train, wherever they are, what is that one thing that they can do that would sort of help them shift and sort of create momentum and a change, a positive change for them?
Thank you. I actually like this question a lot. So I'd love people to take away that if you feel disconnected, this doesn't mean that something is wrong with you. To me, it's a signal, and therefore it's an invitation to pause and become more aware, as we said in the beginning, about your body and what truly matters to you, and then take one small step after the other.
And celebrate those steps, no, Tanja?
And celebrate those steps,
yeah,
yes.
Be proud, be whatever this is that for you, rock your boat in celebrating. That can be a little dance, whatever this is, have a piece of chocolate,
exactly.
Or, I don't know, go out to the movies or do whatever, something, celebrating small steps. And even if they may feel or look very small, they are often not small, but they're important because they create that momentum, yes, and that shift. And momentum creates change, as we know.
Definitely.
Yeah, what really stays with me on this conversation is, and also what you said resonates, is this is not a failure to feel disconnected. There's nothing wrong. There's nothing to fix. Signals, information, listen to it, because once you start listening, then you can start to be more aware about all that, and awareness will enable you to be more connected. And with that, you can be at choice and be empowered in what to do. And the body, I keep saying also me to my clients, is reconnect to your body, listen when you're in situations of stress or something happens, what happens in your body, your chest, your face, something will happen in your body, and just to listen, reconnect, don't give any judgments.
Yeah.
There's no good, there's no bad, there is just what it is. And I think that awareness has always really worked with the people I work with also. It's just, take time. We've forgotten a little bit to connect to our body, and there's a lot of wisdom everywhere that we can do. Thank you, Tanja, for joining us today. I'm very pleased to have spent this time with you and these conversations on values, something really important. Thank you for sharing your insights and your experience and those hints and little steps that people can, listeners really can do and implement as they wish in their way to work or wherever in their everyday life. That's as simple as that. And yes, if you're listening and something there really resonated with you, then I invite you to just let it sit with you. Listen, no judgment. There's nothing wrong. There's nothing right either. There is just what it is. Your body has a lot of information for you. Listen to your emotions. Ask questions. Be curious. Good curiosity. Hey, I'm suddenly feeling tension here. What could that be? What happened in my environment, or what's going on? And do that with a smile and an interest to get to know you better. And I think that really works, and that keeps it really light also. So thank you for listening. Thank you, Tanja, for coming and joining this podcast. And I'm really looking forward to be with you again soon for another topic and a new guest. On that note, I wish you a good day with whatever everybody is going after listening to this podcast. Thank you, and thank you, Tanja.
Thank you, Laurent. It's been really fun.